Welcome back to Clean with Kate. It's early on Thursday morning. It's about 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm halfway through my sort of early morning routine, and I thought you might like to join me in the garden to see what my early morning routine in the summer looks like. The garden is absolutely bursting with colour at this time of year. It's my favourite time of year in the garden, but there's quite a few little jobs that I need to get on with, and this is a really good time of day to do it. So you might have noticed I'm not doing quite as much housework at the moment. I have been doing housework, but I haven't always been videoing it. I've been quite busy. I've been on a course, and I've been sometimes doing my housework while I've been catching up on parts of the course, which is on audio. Anyway, let's start. I'm going to start with a little deadheading in the garden, but then I need to do some watering. So I thought you might like to join me. I just want to deadhead this rose. I need to get a bucket as well. An empty bucket would be good, because this rose, we see this rose every day, and if I get it deadheaded now, it will come back into flower. So is there any more on there? No, I don't think so, but I need an empty bucket. Can I see an empty bucket? Aha, that's exactly what I want. So let's get going. I should probably set a timer. I've got quite a busy day today, so I'm just getting this done before I start work. And it's a good time of day. Let's set a timer for 15 minutes and see how much I can get done. So I tend to chunk my gardening in the same way that I chunk my housework, into sort of 15 minutes or 5 minutes, or I don't usually do any more than 15 minutes, to be honest. Sometimes we'll do 2 lots of 15 minutes. It's a big garden, so I find by chunking it up, it just feels less overwhelming. So I'm going to deadhead these hot pokers. I've only got one of these in the garden. So a lot of my borders tend to be on a blue and a pink theme, but I do love them. So these have been absolutely spectacular, but now I'm cutting them down so they can put their energy into growing leaf for next year. I think Mike's to get off out. We're up very early today. It's so warm. It's quite difficult to sleep at the moment. Right, the noise you can hear in the background are a huge colony of birds that have come out of their nests recently. Let's go over here. Oh, I need to pick some flowers for the house as well. I happen to notice that my flowers, I'm just deadheading these roses so that they keep flowering. My flowers that are in the house are looking a bit sorry for themselves. Just need to be careful not to cut the flowers off that are still looking good. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing up there. Right, so there's lots more over here that need doing. But by doing this, I'm hoping to prolong my flowering season. I don't deadhead all of my roses, only the ones that repeat flower. The ones that have good hips, I tend to just leave them, because the hips are an absolutely wonderful sight in winter. Well, I'm not sure I can reach all of these. Let's take that one out, it's pretty much spent. As you can see on this one, there are masses of deadheads, so I might take that one back a bit further. If you're deadheading your roses, just get in there and do it. It's actually much easier than you think. You can't do too much harm. Roses, particularly climbing roses, are pretty tough. Let's get in here and deadhead. Right, okay, that's a bit better. Hopefully I'll get some more flower. This one at the moment is absolutely wonderful colour, but it's not ready for deadheading yet. Let's just go down the row and see what else needs doing. And I might empty the bucket while I'm at it. And then I need to get a bit of watering done on the rose arch. I'm trying to make myself water a different section of the garden every morning. It's part of my morning routine at the moment. Because we had some good rain last week, but we haven't had any rain at all this week, which is quite hard on the garden, particularly on newly planted plants. There's always lots of deadheading at this time of year. Right, how does that look? Have I missed any? Oh golly, the high up ones I'm not going to be able to get to. Okay, let's empty the bucket. In here, can go onto my compost heap. Oh, somebody commented that I've probably got snakes living in my compost heap, so I need to be a bit careful. And I'm sure they're right, I'm sure they're correct. Oh my goodness, look at these. These climbing roses have really come out this week on this arch and into this tree. I've got 4 different roses growing in this tree and 2 on the arch. Golly, look at that, it's a real splash of colour. There's only deadheading to do in this border. I do need to come and tidy this border up. Quite a lot of the things in that border are finished now, but it's not a high priority for today. I think the high priority for today, some things like this I haven't deadheaded because I'm kind of hoping that will seed because I want to grow more of them. Whoops, oh, that rose is a bit of a thug. It's just grabbed me. It's in the wrong place really. There used to be a rose arch here, but the rose arch, when we were doing the building work, we lost the rose arch. But actually it's a problem, that rose really needs moving. Right, I'm going off now to get the water. So if you'd like to come with me, I'm going up, we'll go up this way I think. That's another job I need to do, is a bit of weeding in here. This bit of the garden is full of self-seeded, I must be careful where the dogs have been. Look, I need to come out and clean up after them. Full of self-seeded wildflowers. And I find it really hard just to dig them all out. I try to propagate them. But I can't keep them all, so I will need to just hose some of them out. Right, so I'm going to switch the hose pipe on. And then I'm going to do a little bit of watering. This is a big old hose pipe that came with the house, thank goodness. Because it is a huge garden. I'm going to need to bring a bit more hose pipe out, I think. Oh, this is like weight training, getting this hose pipe out. It reminds me of, what are they called? Those battle ropes at the gym. Golly. Let's pull it out. Oh my goodness, it's going to cut a kink in it, hasn't it? So at this time of year, the garden does take up quite a bit of our time. It's a labour of love. We both love gardening. But sometimes by autumn, we are ready for a break. So by breaking it up like this, it does make it more manageable. Okay, I'm going to move the hose pipe onto the next. So this is a rose arch that I'm wanting this. It's doing much better this year. It was struggling. The rose arches were struggling the last couple of years. This is the better of the two. So, but the other one I watered last night. The other one is not doing as well. So I want to get these looking healthy again. I think part of that is water and feed. So what I'm doing, each day I'm working on a different bit of the garden, giving a different area of water, and I'm also mulching with mushroom compost, which is basically quite well rotted manure that's been used to grow mushrooms in it. And you can just buy this. It's usually delivered by the tractor load. And while I'm in here, I think I'm going to do a bit of weeding as well. I've got some things in here that shouldn't be in here, so I'm just going to pull them out. I've got a bucket here full of irises. This was my job last night, but I didn't empty the bucket. I was deadheading irises. Golly, it's very wet around here, which is good. Good job I put my gardening Crocs on. I took my house Crocs off. I've gone into Crocs for summer. In the winter and autumn and spring, I'll probably wear wellies in the garden to keep my feet dry. But now I've gone into Crocs. And I have one pair that I wear in the garden, and a couple of pairs I wear in the garden actually, and other ones that I wear in the house or the yard where it's drier. But where watering is quite a messy job, so I'm wearing my outdoor Crocs for this job, so I don't walk too much muck into the house, so I can take them off. There's some roses in here that we propagated last year from cuttings. These sort of rambling roses are really good. They layer themselves, which means you can get baby ones from them. And we got quite a lot of babies last year and stuck them into this border. And there's one here that you can see, this red one's beautiful. You've just got to remember to water them. And this one I think is called American Pillar. I'm not sure what the red one is. If you know, do let me know. Some of these are older varieties of roses. This is a lovely little one here, this pink one. They form this almost hedge here, but I will need to, whoops, sorry about that. I need to release the hose. The hose has got stuck. I'm going to leave that hose pipe on there for a minute while I go and release it. I want to give them a really good soaking because I don't water them very often. In fact, this might be the second time I've watered them this year, but we are having a really dry spell at the moment. But it's better, when you're watering, it's better to give everything a really good soak and just do it occasionally rather than a small amount of water every day. Because if you give them a really good soak and then you don't water them for a little while, it encourages them to put their roots down. Sometimes people don't understand, and if you're watering them every day, there's no incentive for them to root out, particularly with new plants. And sometimes if it's really hot, you may need to water new plants every day. But because these have been in a while, we don't have to water very often, thank goodness. But occasionally they do need a bit of and because we've put a sort of mulch on, a manure mulch. Actually, I don't think this border's had it. The other border had it that I watered last night. But actually the best way to do that is water first, like I'm doing now, and then mulch. So I should probably try and get some mulch on these roses tonight. It would even be better if I did it this morning, but I just don't think I'm going to have time this morning. Because the mulch is quite a way away. I've got to wheelbarrow it over. If I'm lucky, maybe Mike will do it. I mustn't rush this. It is important to give everything a good dousing rather than just wetting the surface. And these irises will benefit from it, even though they're very drought resistant. The planting in our garden is mainly drought resistant because we don't water very often. Mainly because it's quite a faff on a garden this size, watering it frequently. So I do have a lot of very drought resistant planting. I have a lot of irises, which are brilliant. Once they're established, you don't really need to water them, they can manage without. We have a lot of Mediterranean plants like catmint. Wildflowers are brilliant. We have lots of wildflowers, as you've probably noticed. This is one here, is Oxeye Daisy. I'll pop the links in to my wildflower collection. That if you're interested, you can order wildflowers from me online. Because I propagate my plants every year and I sell the seeds just as a little sort of hobby business. But I mustn't get distracted. I must water the main purpose of me watering is to water the roses. So I need to be a bit careful not to forget the roses. And I did pop some new roses in here last year, and it's so easy to forget them because it's a bit of a thicket in here. I need to tie this one in, it's come forward. Right, I'm just going to put the hose pipe down for a minute. I might take it a bit further. I need to do a bit more weed pulling. Oh my goodness, they don't want to come out, they're really stuck. Might have to cut those out. Oh, get Mike on it. No, they do not want to come out, that's unfortunate. These weeds are tough. I should never have put this plant in here. This is tansy, which is a bit of a thug. And I haven't managed to pull out. It's a bit here. I'm going to get this bit out. Yeah, it got... Oh, golly. Tansy is incredibly drought resistant. So if you've got really poor soil, tansy will grow well. But I wouldn't plant it into a mixed border like this because it's very, 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 very invasive. And it can smother your other plants. But when I put it in here, I didn't know that as much as I do now. So I'm constantly having to battle the tansy. Right, there's quite a new rose in here, or is it? Oh no, it's a wisteria, so I need to give that was planted in there last year, so I need to give that a good dousing. No, I think I'm going to need to get a sun hat. It's getting really sunny now and really warm. It was nice when I was behind the shade, but I'm not in the shade anymore. The other plant that loves dry conditions is lavender, so I have quite a lot of lavender. But you may, if they're new lavender plants, you need to water them in a dry spell till they establish. These probably are pretty good, they won't need watering. I'm just giving my peony some water. But my main purpose today is to water the roses. Oh, I've got a cherry tree here. Shall I give it a good, because that is new. I'm going to give that a good soaking. That was only put in a month or two ago. Give it a really good soaking, because it will still effectively be in its pot. Trees do need quite a bit of watering in their first year or two to get them established. But again, it's best to just give them a really good soaking like this every couple of days, rather than a water every day. Right, have I missed anything along here? I'm sure I spotted a new rose. I'm just looking for it. You can see this is what we want. We want this lovely, lush new growth to come, which you only get really if the roses are healthy. Some of my roses are definitely not looking too healthy at the moment. Giving them another soaking. That will do them the world of good. Oh, there's my timer going. It might be time to go and do my morning routine proper. But this is a really good time of day to water. So if you're going to water your garden, which I recommend that you do if you have a dry spell, particularly if you've got things that aren't that drought resistant, then the best time to water is early morning, like I'm doing, or in the evening. Right, let's just switch that timer off. I might reset it. I might do a bit more deadheading. Let's just see. Got a lot of irises to deadhead still, but I had to go and empty the bucket. I think I'm just going to put this on this fruit tree. Just, whoa, I have to be careful of my irises. Before I switch it off, it can give the fruit tree a little bit of water. Oh, I've squashed my irises. That was silly. Right, where am I going to go and water next? That's the question. I need to put the hose pipe where it needs to be. I might put it away. Just pop that in there. I would like to go and water that rose. These fruit trees are really struggling here because the soil's very poor. Although it's covered in pears, which is good. There's another one over here. I'm going to just give it some water. And again, these need some mushroom compost putting on them. Oh, that's such a beautiful morning. This is a little orchard that we planted quite a few years ago, but the trees have just really struggled in this soil. It's a little wildflower meadow. In the spring, it's absolutely full of bulbs. Just getting my breath back. But I've made a pledge to myself that I'm going to look after it better this year, in the hope that I can get it looking a bit healthier. Whoops, just pop that on in there. God, I've just done the irises again. It's not good. Poor irises, I'm as bad as the dogs. No, it's the dogs that do that. Oh, it's lovely up here. It's a bit shadier. So I'm just giving this rose a water. This pear tree's done quite well, but we will need to cut it down again soon because it gets a little bit too tall. It's looking quite stressed. It is looking quite droughted. You know, it's been here quite a long. I think this was one we planted when we bought the house. It's looking a little stressed. The drought, I think. It's got a climbing rose in it, which is called New Dawn. Which is one of my favourites, actually. Really easy to grow. hopefully this water will help the tree as well as the rose. Right, I'm going to just water a few of these things that are naturalised in here because they haven't been in that long, and I want them to form seed so I can collect the seed. There's a camassia, a white camassia here, which I grew from seed. I think there's another one there. Let's give them, they're just naturalised into the grass. They naturalise quite well, but they are fairly young, so I do need to look after them a little bit because the grass is quite vigorous. There's the next one there. Give them a bit of special treatment. I'd like them to get really big. I might need to take the grass away from around them. There's another one, and they're planted in a row. So this is one of the plants that you can naturalise in a sort of grassy area if you're willing to let it go a bit on the wild side. There are quite a lot of wild areas in our garden. This is one of them. There's the next one, and I got another one there. They're quite difficult to spot, but once you start, it's very handy when they've got a flower on them, you can recognise them. Give them a really good soaking. The rambling rector's it's still looking pretty good. The scent is not as good as it was though. It's starting to go over. Have I got any more camassia in there? There's one. That one was difficult to spot, and it's looking quite droughted, that one. They should still be green at this time of year because it's a sort of, I think it may be a type of bulb, but they're building up. I grew them from seed, so they're fairly young, but then they need to build up their strength. So that's why I'm watering them. You can see the seed pods here on the top. Is that the last one, or have I got another one? I've got another row here. Oh, these are looking really stressed actually. They are very droughted because they're competing with the grass. So if you naturalise things, most things like spring bulbs do really well naturalised in longer grass, as long as the grass isn't too vigorous. And one year I made the mistake of feeding the grass, which meant it was too vigorous. And the bulbs didn't do as well the following year, and Mike was cursing me because he has to trim it. But now I don't tend to feed my grass because I want the grass to be quite weak so that the bulbs and the naturalised things will do better, and I want the wildflowers to do better. So I'm gradually introducing wildflowers into the meadow. So you can see we've got a scattering of oxeye daisy and buttercup, but they do better if the grass is quite nutrient depleted. I'm not sure how the camassias are going to find it. The trouble is, because I've watered now, the grass is going to be more vigorous. So I may actually need to take some of the grass away from around them. Yes, the camassias might need feeding, but I don't want to feed the grass. Oh, there's so many of them. I grew all of these from seed. And we naturalised them in the spring, I think. Some of them may have been here a little longer, but we've put a lot more out this year. Let's water the oxeye daisy because it looks lovely there, doesn't it? I said I'd just get to stop, but the thing is, once you get going, it's like with the housework, once you get going, you just want to keep going because it makes such a difference. Just water makes such a difference to the garden. I didn't used to water the garden very much, but then a friend who lives just down the road with the same soil, and when I went to see her garden, it was so much more abundant and it just looked so healthy, and she was just watering more than I was. I wasn't watering hardly at all. So I'd planted a drought-resistant planting and I thought, I don't want to water it. And also feeding. Feeding makes a big difference, but I think the biggest difference you can make in your garden is to water, and in dry spells, water. Well, there's so many of these in here. Once you start to look for them, you realise they have done actually really well. They're only young plants. Oh, I've got a rose here. That's interesting. I wonder how that got there. It must have self-seeded. That's really, unless it was in the soil. It may have been in the soil with the camassia. It's very interesting. Just be careful I don't squash my flowers. This has turned into mainly a watering video because that's what I mainly have to do at this time of year. A lot of watering. It just shows you how much you can get done in the early hours. And these plants will definitely thank me for it by producing more flower hopefully next year. Oh, some more oxeye daisy. Oh, I've just spotted a bit of ragwort there. I might weed that out. I don't really want ragwort in here. I think some of these are self-seeded because I don't think I planted this many. That's the other good thing about Camassia. I haven't deadheaded. I'm leaving the seed heads on because it will self-seed. Right, I think that's probably enough for now. So I'm going to put this on this border because I happen to know there's a new rose in there. And I'm going to switch the hose pipe off. Oh, I'm so glad I got out and did this, rather than just thinking about it. Because sometimes the task feels pretty enormous, but it's often not as big as you think. And it's actually really good to get out in the garden in the early hours. It's a really good thing. I find that if I put it off and I think, oh, I'll do it this evening, sometimes I'm just too tired. So I do like to get out first thing. Let's switch that off. Okay, let's just go make sure it has actually turned off. I have to check these things, otherwise it'll worry me. Let's check there's no water coming out. Hopefully, I think it went off properly. Oh my goodness, I need to deadhead this iris next. Yeah, the hose pipe is off. I like to check that. I don't want to have it running all day, have no water. Because we're on a borehole, we don't have mains water. So it would be possible to drain it, I think. Golly, I think it's time for a sit down. Oh, the sun's actually gone really hazy, which is probably a good thing for the garden actually, and for me today, because I've got quite an outdoorsy day. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm off to do the rest of my morning routine, and I need to pop out later and do a bit more deadheading. But I just thought you might like a little taste of my summer morning routine, which does involve gardening every day. But it's so lovely to get out. It's so good for you, I think, to just get outside first thing in the morning when it's not too hot, so you don't need to worry about burning. And getting the sunlight into your brain, I think it's just really good, and some physical activity to start the day. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the videos. I'll hopefully get some housework videos up over the next couple of days. The weather's so warm at the moment. It's fitting it in, isn't it, when it's not too hot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.